When Harry Met Sally is one of those stories that looks simple on the surface and becomes one of the sharpest love stories made. It starts with two people who could not be more different, puts them on the same road, and then follows them for years as they keep crashing back into each other. At first they argue about everything, then they become friends, then they ruin that friendship. And underneath all of it sits the question that drives the whole movie. Can a man and a woman ever just be friends, or does love always find a way to complicate it? The story begins in 1977, right after college. Harry Burns is getting ready to move to New York. Sally Albright is also heading there, and because she is dating Harry's friend Joe, the two of them end up sharing the long drive from Chicago. It should be a simple trip, but from the start it is obvious they do not fit together at all. Harry is blunt, cynical, and sure that he understands how relationships work. Sally is organized, idealistic, careful, and annoyed by how casually Harry says things that most people would keep to themselves. He talks too much, judges too quickly, and keeps pushing on subjects that make her uncomfortable. She thinks he is arrogant, he thinks she is uptight. By the time they stop for food and argue over whether men and women can ever really be friends without sex getting in the way, their personalities are fully established. That debate becomes the movie's central idea. Harry insists that attraction always destroys pure friendship. Sally thinks that is ridiculous. She believes two people can care about each other without everything turning romantic. Neither of them is willing to give an inch, and because they are both smart enough to keep arguing, the conversation turns into a battle of worldviews instead of a small disagreement. The trip itself only makes things worse. Harry keeps speaking with the kind of confidence that comes from assuming his own experience explains everyone else's life. Sally keeps correcting him, defending herself, and trying to hold on to some sense of order. They stop overnight, share a tense motel scene, and part ways in New York with no warmth between them. Harry says they can be friends. Sally makes it clear she wants no part of that. The goodbye is cold, and it feels like that should be the end of it. But timing keeps bringing them back together. 5 years later, in 1982, they run into each other at an airport. Both of them are with other people now. Harry is involved with a woman named Helen. Sally is dating a man named Joe. The reunion is awkward but a little less hostile than the first one. They are older, more settled, and slightly more amused by each other. Still, the same debate returns almost immediately. Harry has not changed his opinion about friendship between men and women, and Sally still refuses to accept his theory. This second meeting is shorter, but it matters because it shows how their edges have softened just enough for curiosity to replace pure irritation. They are not close, but they are also no longer strangers who only see the worst in each other. Then they separate again, still moving through life on parallel tracks. Another 5 years pass. Now it is 1987 and New York gives them a third collision. This time the circumstances are different. Both of them have been hurt. Harry's going through a divorce after his wife has left him for another man. Sally has just learned that Joe, the man she thought she might marry, is getting married to someone else. Suddenly the two people who once argued about romance in the abstract are both standing in the middle of real disappointment. Their reunion happens in a bookstore, and from there something finally changes. Instead of arguing and moving on, they start talking. Harry is wounded and off balance. Sally is trying to act fine and clearly is not. For the first time, they meet each other not as symbols in a debate, but as people who know what heartbreak feels like. This is where the movie opens up. Harry and Sally begin a real friendship, and the film becomes a portrait of how intimacy can grow in quiet ways long before anyone says it out loud. They start calling each other. They meet for meals. They walk through the city. They go to museums. They sit in bookstores and joke. They share details about their private habits, old relationships, fears, and routines. Two people are simply spending time together, and the film makes those moments feel alive. Harry is still pessimistic, but around Sally that pessimism starts sounding less like a worldview and more like a defense mechanism. He makes jokes about death, disappointment, and how things fall apart, but Sally keeps drawing him into ordinary life. Sally, on the other hand, still likes control, structure, and rules, but Harry gives her someone she can be messy and honest around. They tease each other instead of judging. The friction is still there, but now it creates warmth instead of distance. One of the smartest things the movie does is show how attraction can hide inside friendship without immediately becoming obvious. Harry and Sally are not dating, they are not pretending to date either. They are doing something more dangerous. They are becoming essential to each other. Their scenes are often very funny because they are so specific. Sally orders food with endless adjustments because details matter to her. Harry watches with a mix of disbelief and affection. They debate movies, relationships, and all the tiny humiliations of adult life. In one famous restaurant scene, Sally gets tired of Harry acting like women fake pleasure all the time and decides to prove how convincing performance can be. The point is not just the joke. The scene also shows how fearless she can be when she wants to win, and how comfortable they have become with each other. The friendship deepens enough that they start trying to help each other find other people. Harry sets Sally up with his friend Jess. Sally sets Harry up with her friend Marie. At first it looks like a terrible idea. Jess and Marie do not seem especially interested in the arrangement, but then something ironic happens. While Harry and Sally keep insisting that they are just friends, Jess and Marie fall for each other almost instantly. That twist matters because it makes Harry and Sally look even more exposed. The two people trying to play matchmaker clearly understand connection better than they understand themselves. Jess and Marie move quickly toward romance, while Harry and Sally remain stuck in the strange middle ground they created together. As the months go on, the friendship becomes the center of both their lives. When one of them needs comfort, the other is there. When one of them has news, the other hears it first. Their bond looks stable, but it is actually becoming more fragile because Harry's original argument never entirely disappears. Attraction is still in the room, only now it is buried under routine and trust. The turning point comes on New Year's Eve. Harry and Sally go to party separately. Sally is still upset because Joe is getting married and that old wound suddenly feels fresh again. Later that night, Harry comes over to comfort her. She breaks down, confessing that it is not just about Joe as a person. It is about the fear that life is moving forward and leaving her behind. She thought she would be married by now. She thought certain things would have happened by now. Watching someone from her past move on makes her feel abandoned by time itself. Harry tries to reassure her. He stays with her. They talk in bed, close and vulnerable in a way they have never been before. The emotional walls come down, and then the thing they have both been circling for years finally happens. They sleep together. The next morning is a disaster. Instead of becoming a romantic breakthrough, the night creates panic. Sally is uncomfortable and unsure. Harry feels awkward and guilty and tries to act casual in the worst possible way. Both of them know something huge has changed, but neither knows how to handle it. Their easy rhythm vanishes almost instantly. What makes this section painful is how believable it feels. They do not explode in some huge dramatic scene. They start missing each other emotionally. Their jokes stop landing. Their conversations become formal. Silence grows where comfort used to be. They go from calling each other for everything to barely knowing how to sit in the same room. A wedding for Jess and Marie forces them back together, but even there the damage is obvious. Sally is hurt because the friendship she depended on now feels broken. Harry is upset because he knows he has lost something important and does not know how to repair it. They try to talk and the conversation goes badly. Old fears come up. Harry still hides behind detachment. Sally is angry that something beautiful between them has been made awkward and unstable. Then the final stretch begins, and Harry finally has to face what he has spent the whole movie avoiding. He has treated love like a problem to analyze, friendship like a system with rules, and disappointment like the only outcome worth expecting. But being without Sally forces him to recognize something simple. The person he most wants to talk to, laugh with, annoy, and share life with is the person he claims he is only supposed to be friends with. On New Year's Eve, while everyone else is celebrating, Harry is alone with the full weight of that realization. He wanders through the city thinking through all the small things that make Sally who she is. Not grand fantasy versions of her, but the real details. The way she orders food, the way she gets cold, the way she talks, the way being around her has worked itself into every part of his daily life. So he does the most difficult thing he has done in the whole movie. He stops talking like someone who wants to win an argument and starts talking like someone willing to tell the truth. He races to the party where Sally is spending New Year's Eve and finds her just before midnight. She is angry. She thinks he is there out of loneliness, nostalgia, or panic. For once, Harry has to say what he means clearly enough for her to hear it. His confession works because it is not polished in a fake movie way. It is built out of the ordinary details that make love real. He does not say he wants her because she is perfect. He says he wants her because life with her, in all its strange particularity, has become the life he actually wants. Sally resists at first because she has been hurt and does not want to be pulled into another confusing moment. But this time Harry is not dodging, he is not theorizing, he is choosing, and once that finally becomes clear, the wall between them breaks. They kiss just as the new year begins and the movie lands exactly where it has been headed all along. The argument from the road trip was never really about men and women in general. It was about whether Harry and Sally could admit what they meant to each other. The film closes with them married, speaking in the same kind of testimonial style we have heard from older couples throughout the story. That framing matters because it places Harry and Sally inside a larger tradition of real relationships, ones built not on fantasy perfection but on timing, patience, mistakes, and survival. What makes When Harry Met Sally so enduring is that it understands romance is not only about sparks. It is about recognition. It is about the moment when the person who has already become your home is standing in front of you and you finally stop pretending you do not know it. So the story ends where the question began: can a man and a woman be friends? In this case, yes, but only because friendship turned out to be the road that led them straight to love.